Be prepared to disassemble your transmitter if you're planning to replicate the project showcased in this video. Welcome back, everyone. Today, I'll be tackling a significant challenge I face. Using my FPV camera with my monitor has always required a bulky tripod, which means I need to lug that tripod around everywhere I go if I want to utilize my FPV camera, especially when it's mounted on my RC car. If you find yourself without a 3D printer or lack experience with one, then this video is tailor-made for you. To resolve my tripod dilemma, I'll be using a special adhesive known as PL150. This product boasts a German technology, and after conducting thorough research, I discovered that it was highly recommended by local sellers over other adhesives available in my area. The primary advantage of this adhesive is its versatility. It adheres effectively to a multitude of materials, including metal, painted and coated surfaces, wood, plastic, ceramic, and even stone. In fact, I came across a demonstration where a stone was successfully bonded using this glue, which convinced me to give it a try. Nonetheless, I still wanted to conduct a comparison to determine whether the epoxy glue or PL150 is stronger. Throughout this video, I'll be conducting a series of tests. The transmitter I plan to use is the Dumbo transmitter, which is quite convenient because all the electronic components are situated on one side, the right side. This design leaves ample space on the left side of the transmitter for me to work with and devise a solution to my problem. However, before I dive into the assembly, it's crucial to perform tests on both glues, the epoxy and PL150. In my initial attempts, I discarded the epoxy glue. Unfortunately, I made the error of not wiping the surface properly before application. The same issue arose with the second screw. The glue failed to adhere because the surfaces weren't adequately prepared. After repeating the test, I made sure to clean the surfaces thoroughly this time. In one experiment, I applied 150 Polish zloty first and then layered the epoxy glue on top. However, this approach didn't work because the epoxy cures quickly, within 5 to 10 minutes, whereas PL150 requires more than 24 hours to set. In another test, I attempted to mix the epoxy with PL150. While the mixture itself dried well, I learned that the curing process for PL150 is crucial for its effectiveness. I allowed that combination to dry for over 24 hours, which still wasn't sufficient. Ultimately, I wiped the surface meticulously and applied PL150 on its own, yielding the best results. From the results, I noticed the screw was flexing due to the fact that PL150 needs over 48 hours to fully cure. As I applied pressure to the screw, the adhesive appeared to remain somewhat wet, resulting in detachment. With clarity on PL150 being the superior glue, my next task was to determine the appropriate screw length for my application. The initial shorter screw didn't provide enough stability, leading me to the conclusion that I needed a longer one for a more secure fit. After selecting the right screw, I utilized a soldering gun to create a precise hole in the transmitter's casing. Initially, I made the hole too small and had to adjust it, but ultimately I succeeded in fitting the longer screw perfectly. Before applying the PL150 glue, I needed to secure the screw sturdily. Fortunately, I had a large roll of copper wire on hand, which I typically use for restoring brushed motors. If you're interested in that process, feel free to check out my previous video linked at the top right corner of your screen. One effective alternative to securely hold the screw in place before applying the adhesive is to use a longer screw that can accommodate a nut. This approach allows for a more stable connection, ensuring the screw remains fixed during installation. However, even with a longer screw and a nut, it is imperative to select a strong adhesive. Without a high-quality adhesive, you may encounter difficulties when attempting to attach the monitor, or conversely, when you need to detach it later. In my particular situation, I was unable to utilize a nut to secure the screw since the screw I had was not long enough. As a result, I resorted to using copper wire to effectively stabilize the screw in position. I apologize for not capturing the moment I applied PL150 glue. The reason being this adhesive can be quite messy, so I recommend wearing gloves for protection. After molding the glue around the screw, I was left with a strong bond. The difficult part of the repair was over, so the next step was to allow the glue to cure fully, a process that can feel endless. Ideally, this glue should be dried under direct sunlight, but if circumstances don't permit sun exposure, you may need to wait over 7 days. With sunlight, a curing time of 48 hours should suffice. Once the glue was completely cured, I reassembled the transmitter. The final result was remarkable. I was thrilled to discover that the adhesive did not impact the electronics in any way, and the assembly appeared professionally finished. One important consideration to keep in mind is that once I attach the monitor to the transmitter, the overall weight will effectively double. To address this issue, I needed to find a reliable way to secure the setup without resorting to purchasing the common hooks that are typically mounted on the back of the monitor. My solution involved creatively repurposing some straps that I had previously cut. I carefully stitched these straps together, ensuring that the bond would be sturdy and permanent. This way, there's no risk of accidentally dropping the transmitter along with the monitor during use. For this project, I used a Canon strap from an old camera I owned. It's a high-quality strap made from durable leather, providing both strength and comfort, especially around the neck, where it will bear the weight. With this modification complete, my final task was to attach the monitor to the transmitter. The result? It looks absolutely fantastic. The monitor fits perfectly, enhancing the overall functionality of the transmitter. If you're interested in seeing this setup in action, don't forget to subscribe, like and share. Also, click that notification bell so you'll be alerted when I release the upcoming video showcasing my modified transmitter in action. Thank you for taking the time to watch, and I look forward to seeing you soon.